How we doing?
Thanks for all your mean chefs. Man, it's so funny. This is my I had to download Zoom onto my computer. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
sorry, we're archaic over here.
Oh no, no. I used to be on Zoom all day, every day for my career. So I'm actually very familiar. I just haven't used it since I quit my job, you know. It's
Started working for yourself, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
How
Yes.
was the run today, dude? You're crazy. 6 miles?
Dude, I did 16 yesterday, actually. You wouldn't believe this. Watch this. So
Oh my.
there's I there's this guy. I randomly found him on Instagram 2 days ago. And in his bio, it says running from Los Angeles to New York City, right? And it's called the Sad Run, right? So apparently he's doing this to raise awareness for suicide and mental health for men. And anyway, this I see it. And then I find out that this motherfucker's in Missouri. So I'm like, no way. Like he's running from Los Angeles to Missouri already. So I shoot him a DM and I'm like, yo, bro, let me know where you're at, send me your location. I'll come out and clip some miles with you. So I hear back from him anyway. And I run out and I ran like 16 last night. And then we talked for the whole time because it's just him and I. So then I'm like, dude, you should come on my podcast. And I had him sit down and record a podcast and tell his story on the show. Dude, it was fucking crazy.
Oh
But
wow.
then I wake up this morning and run the 6. And I'm like, jeez. I did not want to run that today. Uh,
Wow. Talk about good timing.
yeah, dude, it was crazy. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, no way he's in Missouri. Yeah. But that story is actually crazy. You guys will have to listen to our show to hear that. Dude, that guy is fucking nuts. Like fucking nuts. I mean, you got to be nuts to run from Los Angeles to New York City, but he's like a different kind of nuts. The reason why he's doing it and his motivation, he's done it 100% anonymously. Like he wears a black motorcycle helmet the whole time. I didn't see his face at all. I ran 16 miles with him, ate dinner with him, sat down for the podcast. I never saw his face.
What?
Wait. Oh, so the
Yeah.
entire time he's doing the podcast too, he's got the motorcycle helmet on?
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
my wow.
Yes. We
That's
go in the gas. We go in gas stations. I'm like, dude, we're in St. Louis.
you
Somebody's gonna
can't.
take you.
Yeah.
But yeah, what are you doing?
That is
So
awesome.
yeah, it was crazy. But anyways, I'm sorry I'm late, guys. I got a lot going on. I'm
It's
just
all
doing my
good. It's all
No
good.
worries, man.
Well,
yeah.
we'll welcome you to the Irrelevant Podcast, episode 41. Also, we're going to welcome you with this question because we are streaming live on Twitch right now, and we have
Oh, sick.
a chatter that would like to know because we were just talking about whitey tidies, unfortunately, and he would like to know if you wore or did you wear whitey tidies when you were growing up? Really
No,
random question, but
no,
No, see,
never. What did you guys say?
I
I
I
didn't think it qualified as it because I had the superhero undies as a kid, but
Yeah,
apparently that counts.
that kind of counts. Yeah, that kind of
yeah
counts.
So
That.
yeah I don't
Yeah,
I'm sure at one point I did, but I just don't remember. I think it was more of
yeah. I
a
don't remember that. As long as I can remember, I've worn boxers, and then eventually went to boxer briefs, but no, never the tidy whitey style.
It's incredible. We come into the Twitch world. We've never had chatters before, and then the first question we get on here is about whitey tidy underwear. So,
Dude,
well,
that's awesome. Does streaming on Twitch is that good for the show? Like
I,
I just saw, I've
I
we
never
don't
been
know,
on.
man. We don't know
we
what the fuck we're doing.
we have no clue. We just I was like, you know what? I can stream and record it simultaneously. So there's a health and fitness tab on Twitch, and
Yeah.
it's relatively like there's not a lot of viewers on there. There's not a lot of followers on there. So I was like, well, if someone opens up the health and fitness page and our faces are there, maybe they'll be
Maybe
intrigued and
let's. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
click
Hell
on
yeah.
it. You never know. So everybody's
Hell yeah.
online now and everyone's on the internet now. So
I know it's just being present in as many different places at the same time as possible.
yeah. Yeah. How many places can I get my face out to?
A lot, a lot. But
Oh,
what?
oh, he just said there's a podcast category too. Well, I guess I'll have to either add
Wow.
that category or
Hey,
yeah.
thank goodness for the guy that's actually paying attention on
Thank you.
Twitch.
Thank you, Mr. Whitey Tidies. We will have
We
to
need this guy to watch every single podcast. He's gonna be like our digital Jamie.
yeah,
Like instead of having Jamie in studio like Rogan does, we're gonna have a fact checker
there we
that
go.
just watches from afar and sends us messages. That's
And we'll
amazing.
yeah, we'll never ask his name either. He'll just be Mr. Whitey Tidies. So
Mr. White.
He can be like the anonymous running guy, but he's the anonymous fact checker. That's amazing.
Yeah.
that's hilarious.
That's fantastic.
Well, Mark, welcome to the show. First of all, well, I guess we've already welcomed you, but go ahead and just kind of give a quick little introduction about yourself. Tell the people who in the heck you are and what it is you do and what your niche in this world is.
Yeah. Well, I'm Mark, and I own a coffee company. And I know it's a health and fitness podcast, but I used to own a gym, and now I pretty much just I try to uh contribute. I try to do that. That's really what I do all day, every day. I just try to contribute to the world and our community in a positive way and other people's lives in a positive way. And a lot of times, that is like a lot of times it's like mental health type stuff, mindset, but it's also like living a healthy lifestyle, taking care of yourself. Yeah, so I don't know, that's kind of in a nutshell where I'm at right now at this moment in life.
So you owned a gym. Did
Yep.
you quit gym ownership and then got into the coffee scene, or how did that come
Oh
about?
no, I'm sorry. I skipped a step. So I owned a gym, and then I left my gym behind, honestly. And I'm from upstate New York originally. So I left my gym behind, moved to St. Louis to work for a company called First Form. It's a nutritional supplement company. They make
Yeah,
athletic. They're like kind of a broad umbrella company now, which is awesome.
yeah.
But I left to work for First Form when it was like still in its like, sort of growing stages. And yeah, I did really well there. I had an amazing career. I worked up to being like one of the highest paid employees in the building. It was just a great job, great career, great people, great company. But I worked in the health and fitness space for a long time. Essentially, what I did when I was there was I was a coach to other coaches. So people who are like health, or let's see, excuse me, personal trainers, nutrition coaches that were trying to like build a brand and build a business online. I would teach them how to do that, teach them how to monetize their platforms, and yeah, build a brand for themselves. And so that was really cool because I thought of it as I was indirectly um helping a lot of the end users, the people that these coaches would eventually reach and be able to change their lives and impact, in a positive way. I was like, man, they wouldn't have done that if I didn't teach these people this. So it was a really fulfilling job. I loved it. But because I was operating primarily in like a digital medium, right? Like every single one of these coaches that I was helping in this way, they were trying to build these platforms on social media. They're trying to build these brands on social media, these businesses on social media, find clients on social media, and build these apps where people would subscribe, and all these different angles that you can take as an online coach of any capacity. I was just constantly immersed in the shit. I hate social media. I mean, I have a love hate. It's hard to say, but I have a love hate. But I think I am positive that it's had a net negative impact on society. And I think that our culture, our socio-economic, political environment right now in this country is so toxic. And one day I just realized, like, I think that there's a strong case to be made that it's the internet and primarily social media platforms, apps, that is the number one contributor to the toxicity in our social and cultural environment right now. And I just kind of understood it one day. I'm like, all of these things, whether it's social media or the internet, if you just open Safari or you just open, doesn't matter, both, they're algorithmic programs, meaning like they have an algorithm that is meant to get to know you and your habits online. And so over time, it's inevitable that every single one of us ends up, having sort of an echo chamber of social, economic, political ideas. Whether it's if you Google fucking whatever you Google, you Google anything, it's gonna that's related to those things. It's gonna show you stuff that you would normally look at, and the top. So, or whether you search on social media, you're gonna scroll through your feed, and it's all stuff that you like already look at. And with people spending more and more and more and more time online, I think that things have gotten so tense in public because well, really, it's not really in public, it's in this digital realm.
Mhm.
Because when they're introduced to an idea that wouldn't normally be in their algorithm, it's like intolerable to them. Whereas like when we were growing up, I don't know how old you guys are, but I'm 31. And when I was growing up, like it was completely normal for you to be friends with people who believe different things than you did. Like I don't believe in God, you believe in God, or you're Jewish and I'm Christian, or you're gay and I'm straight, or whatever it is. It was so fucking normal to be friends with people who didn't believe the same things as you and weren't completely aligned in all. We didn't have to agree. There was a thing called agree to disagree, and it's fine. And I think people nowadays are just incapable of doing that because of the environment, like because the amount of time, the quantity of time that we spend on our phone now has gotten so great that echo chamber becomes your new reality. And then you fucking come out of it and you don't know how to fucking interact with people. You don't know. Anyway, so I had these thoughts and I've been ruminating on it for a long time. And I just felt like there's a huge need, there's a greater need for people to build community in real life right now than there was for what I was currently doing at First Form. And so ultimately I was like, man, I feel like I'm contributing to something, because what I was basically doing is teaching these people online to sell this message that we can build a community online, right? And I'm like, I didn't believe my own message anymore, because I don't think that is a thing. Like, I think one of the biggest problems right now is that we've convinced ourselves that interacting with each other through a digital medium is the same. It's like connecting with you right now through Zoom is the same. Oh, we could just do it through Zoom because it's basically the same as doing it in person. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not the same. Like, oh, FaceTiming your mom is not the same as stopping by and saying hello. Like, it's just not. But we're in this weird spot. And so anyway, I felt like I was contributing to the problem. And so I said, I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm a really passion driven person. That's the number one thing that pushes me in one direction or the other. It's got to feel right to me. And it didn't feel right to keep doing what I was doing, selling this message that, like, you could just do this online with a bunch of people that you never met before. And so I quit, and I didn't even know what I wanted to do at that time. Like, that coffee company wasn't even there yet. And I just knew, like, I was like, man, I want to build a community in real life. I kind of told my people there, my ex coworkers, that I just want to build a community in real life. And so anyway, the coffee shop came about. I didn't know shit about coffee. For real, I didn't. I just knew that I really liked the environment that the old school coffee shops, sort of created. And even in the coffee industry now, what I've seen is, like, the whole industry is moving in this transactional sort of Starbucks kind of model where you just grab your coffee and keep it pushing. And I was like, no, I want to, like, dig my heels in and build the old kind of coffee shop where you go and you hook up to the Wi-Fi and you sit there all fucking day if you want to. So anyway, yeah, that's a more extended version of who I am and where I'm at now. Yeah.
That's tough I feel like, to leave First Form too, because I'm from Missouri too. I'm down kind of where the Springfield area is actually, but I know how big First Form is in the Midwest, especially in this area. So, like,
I love them.
Yeah,
they're good.
Really good
Yeah,
company. Yeah.
So Andy's like a mentor to me now. So when I left, sort of took some time to, like, regroup and just figure out what I wanted to do, get my feet under me. I did really well there financially. So, like, I could have moved, I could have gone anywhere, and it just and so then Andy and I, like, sort of reconnect. Actually, we kind of connect right out of the gate. Like, he was like, yeah, come over and smoke a joint. And then now that he's in the cigar, hey, come over and smoke a cigar. So but he's mentored me through this whole process, and I just, man, he's one of the best dudes I've ever met. So honestly, even if First Form stuff wasn't, the best, even though I do think it is the best, even if it wasn't, I would still support them just based on the fact that Andy's such a good dude.
Yeah, they're good people, like good
Yeah.
people persons, I guess you could say.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're very
Yeah.
good with people. It's good that you're kind of building that message of positivity in the St. Louis area too, because if you believe social media and you look at the media and you watch the news, and there's not a lot of positive stories coming out of the St. Louis area and things like
I
that.
know,
So to
dude.
hear a message of positivity is a really big. I think it's awesome. I think it's a good influence. Is that kind of something that drove you to want to continue to push that message out?
Yeah, maybe, yeah, kind of. I mean, it didn't really. I love St. Louis. Like, it's so funny because I'm not from here, and like I'll talk to people that are from here, and they're like, "Oh, I can't wait to get out of here." And I'm like, "Really?" Because I've lived in Florida, I've lived in New York, I've lived in some nice places, and I like it here better. Like I don't know where you think you're gonna go, but people are, oh, I can't wait to get out of here. And I find myself often trying to sell people on the city. But yeah, I love St. Louis, and I think it has a lot of potential. Like I think it has so much. It's a cultural or it's a creative hotbed. It's a cultural melting pot. It's very fertile soil from an economic standpoint because to be honest, it's like 10 years behind New York in everything, like whether that's fashion or whether that's, the hospitality industry or whatever. It's fucking 10 years behind some of these bigger cities. So I think that presents awesome opportunities to people who are like have an aspirations to get into some of those spaces because you could just go learn it somewhere else and bring it here and just like we're like extremely innovative here when really we're just doing basic shit, like everybody's talking about Omen, or we're just doing the basics. But I love St. Louis, and so really I wanted to have that message and be on that mission regardless of anywhere I go. But I feel particularly good about the fact that I'm doing it here because I do think that all St. Louis needs in order to really like blossom as a city is it just needs a culture of like the people got to get behind, the movement. Like I mean, we could get into like politics and economy and things like that. Like I think really from a tactical standpoint, all it needs is like, we just got to be tougher on crime here. Like if you just took a harsh on crime approach, and I'm not talking like I'm not necessarily talking about like nonviolent crimes. I'm talking about violent crimes or gun possessions. Like if we just got tough on that, I think that alone would really help St. Louis blossom. But I do think that if we can create a culture of like taking care of yourself, being active and being an active and involved member of your community, like having each other's backs, understanding that we all live here. So like 95% of what's in my best interest is also in your best interest. There's like that 5% that we might disagree on, but we should get aligned on this 95% right now. So like this is the type of shit that I think will really help St. Louis. And it's funny because since I've been here and I opened Omen and started preaching this message and all this stuff, dude, people fucking hate us for it. They hate us for it. No, for real. They've tried to cancel us. So like they've tried to they
What?
still. Oh yeah.
Yes, I've seen you post that shit on your stories, and then I go look at the people that are posting these things and talking shit about you, and I'm like, people have no idea who this guy is.
Dude,
Like,
it's
I've
crazy.
followed you on Instagram for like a couple of years now, and you've always been one of the coolest people, like just out of responding out of messages and all kinds of shit. And I'm like, this dude gets it. Like the culture you're talking about and everything like that. That's like you're building a legit culture there.
Yeah.
Like that's the one thing we talk about in the gyms is like if you don't have a culture in the gym, you don't really have anything.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I think branding, community, culture, I think it's everything. I really do. And yeah, they call us a cult. Like in the comments, they're like, yeah, it sounds like a fit Christian cult. Like what? I don't. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It's just so crazy.
Yeah, fucking
But
yeah, don't do anything positive because you're definitely trying to brainwash people, I guess.
and yeah,
Mm.
it's tough. It's tough. How's the gym going?
I have no complaints, but I don't own a gym. I just rent space out of the one I work out of. So
Oh, got it.
that's
Got it.
still on my to-do list. I haven't checked that one off
Or
yet.
you should do it. It's not hard.
I
It's
know.
just,
I just have stupid ass debt that I need to get rid of first.
yeah. Honestly, I did it bootstrapping it and it worked. I swear. So like when I opened
Mm-hmm.
my I opened my gym right after I came home from prison. So like, I mean, dude, I had nothing. Like I was restarting from scratch. Like I didn't even have clothes to wear. I had to have people donate, socks and underwear and shit. But like, so I didn't have anything. And I I got a gym. I was stocking shelves at a grocery store. But anyway, I saved up like I don't even know how much, like $1,500. And then I spent all that money on a set of used kettlebells, used dumbbells, and a used rower, all that I got off Facebook Marketplace. And I was renting this like small, it was legit like less than 200 square feet, like maybe 150. It was previously a conference room, but this woman like wasn't using it very much, so she put like these cheap like puzzle piece foam mats on the ground and was just like, fuck it, you can use it. Now it's a fitness studio. And so it was interesting. I always say, like, I don't know, I believe in God. I don't know about you guys. I'm not religious at all, but like I totally have a relationship with something. And anyway, so I always call it God, but like this woman, I was just trying to figure out like how I could make this dream a reality. You guys follow Andy, I think. So he talks about visualization a lot. And like I was just obsessed. Like I saw that I was gonna, I'm fresh out of prison. I'm just really highly motivated to do what I wanted to do, right? And so I'm thinking about it constantly. And this lady just DMs me out of nowhere right after I bought the stuff saying, like, hey, I heard you're looking for a place to train your clients. Like, here's my number, shoot me a text. So I shoot her a text. I don't even know how this lady, to this day, I don't know how she found me. And I don't know who she heard that from. But she's like, yeah, she sends me the address. I show up. It's this little ass place. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm not gonna train my clients here. But it was all I had. And then she's like, this is what I mean by the grace of God. She says to me, without me even having to explain my financial situation, she's like, hey, and you know what? I know you're just getting started. So for the time being, you could just pay me commission. That way, if you don't make any money, you don't owe me anything. And I was like in my head, like, thank God, because I don't have any damn money. So anyway, I start training like 2 clients there. I already have my personal training certification. So I start training like 2 clients. And like before I knew it, like less than a year later, I was like in a 3,000 square foot studio with a whole caseload of clients, and it started with just the dumbbells, the stuff off of Facebook Marketplace, dude. I'm telling you, you could totally do it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I get that. I started in my garage, so I totally
Yeah,
yeah. Like it's doable, Alex. Just do it.
just fucking do
I
it.
think, Nathan, you forget I started in a fucking park during COVID because everyone was a bunch of pussies.
That's
There we
So
true.
go.
I
Yeah.
did do that. I just
Hey, that,
upgraded to a building that has, $100,000 worth of equipment that I don't have to pay for yet.
so so the only way I was able to do it actually was because I'm a proponent of like functional training, sort of like that's why all I needed was dumbbells, kettlebells. And
Right.
eventually when I had the 3,000 square foot space, I added in a couple squat racks, with barbells. But basically my whole gym was like eventually when I got fully stocked at the 3,000 square foot space, but it was dumbbells all the way up to 100, kettlebells up through like 10 something. And then I had 2 squat racks, and then I had 3 each of a Concept 2 rower, ski erg, echo bike, and assault air runners. So like, but like for a gym, that's very minimal. If you
Right.
do bodybuilding style training or whatever, the cost of getting started goes up so fast.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell
No,
yeah.
I just stumbled into I can rent space at a gym that's super fucking nice and I don't have to deal with any of the headaches. So
What's the gym called?
it's called Gym 5. It's in Boulder here out in Colorado, but it's like a 5,000 square foot facility that's private and it has all kinds of shit in it. So it's like, I don't have to really worry about it yet.
Yeah, you're right. Especially if the whatever they're charging you to do it is not bad. fuck it.
I mean, it's cheaper than it would be to have my own building at the
Yeah.
moment. So we'll just
Yeah.
keep it that way for now.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So how did you go from 200 to like, was it just client referrals, 200 to 3,000 square feet, just referral after
Yeah,
referral?
dude. Yeah. So you know what? That's a great question. So when my buddy AJ, he owns a really yeah, I would say it's really big. It's 12,000 square feet and it's the same model. It's like a personal training gym, like kind of and out in Boston. And he's really, I mean, he's crushing it and he's a great trainer. And so when I first came home from prison, he was in a smaller building, but still doing the same thing. But I think he was like 5 years in. So I asked him for some advice. And really, the only thing he said to me, this is like, if people ask me what's the best advice I've ever been given, this is what I say. But the only thing he said to me was, you got to treat every client like they're your only client. And like sort of what it's adapted to for me is tie your success to the success of other people. Okay. So tie your success to the success of other people. So I pretty much operated as if the only way that I was going to win was if my client was successful, right? Like, so when and it's funny, I explained this sometimes. So sometimes, like I mentioned earlier, that I didn't know shit about coffee before I got into this. So I think sometimes ignorance of like how things are done can actually be a huge advantage because you're not playing to the level of the current competition, right? Or you know, the standard that everybody that already exists. You in your head, you're asking yourself the question, if I were going to do this the way it was supposed to be done, how would it look? Right. And so I never had a personal trainer before. So I didn't know that most personal trainers are fucking lazy and they don't do, you know, they do, you know, they do the bare minimum for their clients. And I didn't know any of that. Right. And so I'm like thinking, shit, these guys are and girls out here are all doing everything they possibly can to help their clients reach their goals. So like, fuck, man, I gotta outwork all of them and get through that and get over this with no experience. So I'm like meeting my clients at the fucking grocery store and teaching them how to shop on the perimeter. I'm going over to people's houses, showing them how I meal prep. I'm doing nutrition for free. Like it's like I'm doing everything. Okay. And as a result, my fucking clients were killing it. So like they were getting good results. I was going above and beyond, you know, and it just snowballed very quickly because like I did that for all of my clients. Like I was just going so hard. And then later I like figure out the industry and I'm like, wow, I'm like, I should be charging these people way more. But like at that point, it had already worked out. I didn't really need to charge them more. In fact, I started charging them less, you know, because I figured it out. And so it was crazy, man. And what I ended up going to was a model that I am a huge proponent of now because it works so well for me, which is like I used to sell it as semi-private. So like I would still like develop programs for all of my clients, like based on their goals, but I would be open with them. Like, hey, sometimes like here's the deal. A good program is a good program. So if you don't have any like injuries or like, you know, I don't know, any areas of focus, you might use a program that I've already wrote for somebody else that has the same goal or similar goal in a similar starting spot, you know? So they were okay. So the trade-off was I'd be like, you know, instead of charging you like a one-on-one session, which would be highly, you know, it would be hard to sustain. I can charge you much less, you know, and just make sure know that there's going to be some other clients in the gym that I'm also watching and giving cues to and stuff. So I would train up to like in the beginning, I only trained up to 3 people at a time, but by the end, I had like 20 people in the gym, like, and they know their stuff, and I'm writing programs for everybody. And so that model worked really well for me. And then this is what was fucking crazy is I would charge in the beginning, I would just charge per session, and I had packages of sessions that you could buy. I think that's pretty standard. But what I ended up evolving it to, what I realized is that, well, I realized 2 things that I think were really groundbreaking for me. One is that is pretty obvious is the more clients that I have that get results and the faster that they get results, the more clients I get. Like that just seemed like an inevitability because I started realizing that it only took so long before my client, if I keep them on the wagon, before they start getting that, oh, you look great. What have you been doing? Question, right? Like everybody gets that. That makes a change. When you lose 30 pounds, you get that question everywhere you go. Oh my God, you look great. I haven't seen you in a while. What's going on? And the next thing is, oh, dude, I've been working with this trainer, Mark, man. He's been fucking killing, he's killing it. And so that was one thing. And then the other thing was that if I could make fitness fun for them, like I had to prioritize that. I put the results on the back burner and I said, man, if I can make this easy and enjoyable for them, they will come more often. And if they come more often, they'll get results faster. And so then finally, I had this one client who had paid me like close to $1,000 one month just to come because she was really committed and she wanted to come often. And it put me in an ethical, bind, because I knew this girl was like overextending financially. She was dumping everything into it. And like, really, I didn't need to charge her that much. But it was just the number of sessions had added up so much. And so it got me thinking about a way to do a model differently. And what I ended up doing was you could either pay per session or I had a $200 a month unlimited visits. And just because of the size of my clientele, like I was able to do that. And that worked really, really well because then they came more and they got to, and the semi-private model got all of my clients, it gave them all an opportunity to get to know each other and like feel like they were kind of working on something together. So it had the camaraderie, it had the making it easy and enjoyable. And then finally, when the price point came down and I just offered that unlimited package to come and see me as often as you want, man, that was great. And it created a recurring revenue for me every month that I like kind of knew was there, like clockwork, rather than before like having to sell packages every month. So yeah, I don't know. It was cool. That was one thing that helped me a lot.
Sounds like the conversation we had earlier, Alex, about the free stuff in the group chat. We were talking to people, just give your stuff away and do a really good job and show people that you care. And yeah, like
it's the fucking drug dealer mentality, dude. If it's good and you give them a taste for free, they'll be back for more.
Yeah, that's a fact. I actually just had this conversation recently with a young guy in the area asked me if I would mentor him. And so I had a meeting with him and he was like, what should I do? He's trying to start this business, this dog training business. And exactly what I said to him was like, bro, you need to go and train as many people's dogs for free as you possibly can right now. Like you just need to ask you. Matter of fact, I got a dog. Let me know when you can pick him up. You need to train his ass. But no, 100%, 100%. I'm a huge proponent of, you're basically just buying your customers, like it's what happens. Like I used to think of it when I had the gym, I would tell them like, hey, tell anybody that their first session's free. And their first session's free. Oh, no. I had a referral policy. And the referral policy was, if you send me a client that signs up with me to just come for 1 month, then I'll give you any amount of anything that you want for free for a month. So I'll basically buy you a month. And the reason why I only gave them credit for referrals that came for a month rather than for one free session was because I was basically betting on myself that if they come for 1 month, then that's on you. Now it's on me whether they come back after that, right? And so yeah, just give me basically you got to be willing to give stuff away for free and buy yourself a chance. And if you buy yourself a chance, you're betting on yourself that you're going to do such a good job that they're going to come back no matter what, or the product's so good.
Sounds familiar, Alex.
What, you mean like my fucking referral program? You give me 2 clients, I'll train you for free for the rest of your whatever you want. I don't care.
Let's go. Yeah,
someone told me that was a bad business model. I'm like, well, the prices I charge now, it's definitely not. So let's give me these people. It's fine.
No, buy them. Buy the chance. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to hustle for those things. People don't get that. It's they want to get, what is it? You get more with honey than you do vinegar.
Oh, 100%. That's the saying. Yep.
We need to throw this episode in the group chat ASAP because we'll just answer all the questions they just asked. Just like, here you go. Watch this episode. Well, listen to Mark. He's smart.
They don't watch our episodes. It's fine.
That's true. They haven't made it this far. Like 10 in. We We have some really cool
Mark, I
guests
wanted
too.
to ask you about the men's group you started because I thought that was a really fucking sweet idea. And like for like Nathan and I, for example, we obviously want to create a culture at some point in time. Like, what do you think like good building blocks for creating something like that? Because it seems like you had pretty good success pretty quickly with that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't have the secret sauce on that one. You just got to do it. And I don't think that anybody can do it. That sounds kind of bad, but I've thought about this a lot. I don't you could they could. I don't know if anybody could lead it. Anybody could do it. Anybody could put it together, but I don't know if just anybody could lead it. And it's interesting how everything that I've ever done in my life, including the bad times, the hard times, but also my career, has led me to this point where now I can see now that I'm utilizing things that I picked up in different places. And that's what has enabled me to run a good group. Like I used to lead NA and AA meetings in prison, for example. So like I I pulled a lot of like the format and the things that worked well from that. And then I also used to be like an instructor. I taught a course, a 12-week course in prison. And so I've sort of stood in front of big groups of really the hardened criminals. I've stood in front of the toughest of crowds, and had to like keep people engaged and keep a conversation going. And then at First Form, I did a lot of like coaching, sort of mentoring, and then also I would host these Zoom calls with like 150 people on them, and so I've had so much practice in that it has helped me a lot, and the group is going really well. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna give out the format that I use because I do think the format makes it a lot easier for anybody to step into it and just see if they can put it together. So I'm gonna put together a Zoom call where anybody that's interested in learning the format, I'll just walk them through it, walk them through how I structure the meetings, and I hope that more of them pop up around the country. It's just it takes a lot of planning. I don't know. Anybody that does it has to be really passionate about it. They really do, because it does it. You could easily show up to a meeting and like not have a topic, and it just be like, I feel the pressure every time those guys come, because I'm like, man, they just gave me 90 minutes of their time. I want to make sure that this group is worth the squeeze. So yeah, it's been really cool, but I don't know that there's a secret sauce. I think the secret sauce is you just got to really want to bring something like that to life, and yeah, and be willing to learn and be uncomfortable.
Man, that's a big one. People don't want to be uncomfortable. We find that a lot in the world that we live in. People don't want to step outside or come to the gym or try something new that might help their quality of life, which sounds like
Yeah.
something that you're putting together is like, I just feel like being around you, Mark, is going to enhance the quality of life, like the energy that you give off and the enthusiasm
Well,
that you give off. It's a very, man, that's a trait that a lot of people need in this world. People like you to kind of bring them along. That's awesome.
Well, yeah, I don't know. They seem to trust me, like they'll follow, which implies that they trust that I'm going in the right direction. I don't fucking know. But dude, it is that's the other thing that's hard about the group is you got to sell it. You got to like how many fucking people ask me, "Oh, what's the men's group about? What do you guys talk about in there?" Like, motherfucker, just come. I don't fucking, it's, I don't know, so that you got to sell these people to come for the first time. And that was really hard for me in the beginning because like there's a million different things I could say in response to that question.
You just entice them with the free coffee? Is that what you started with?
Ah, we don't give you free shit. No, it's a free group. I'm giving you my time for free.
People, yeah, people
No
don't
fucking treats.
they don't understand the time thing. They're just like it. They don't really understand the time thing. Time's not free, not at all.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. No, there's literally no other thing I would rather be doing. But so it's a good investment of time for me. But no, I do give them free shit. I'm lying. I'm soft. I gave them all journals, like custom journals in the beginning. And then I give them cigars. I always give them fucking cigars, which cigars ain't cheap. Yeah, yeah.
Not the good ones. The good ones aren't cheap.
No, I don't. I mean, I give them relatively good ones though. Romeo and Julieta. I just fucking hate them. Ugh. Somebody bought me a whole box of Romeo and Julieta, and it's like, if you're gonna spend, I don't even know how much. It's a couple $100 box. I'm like, just ask me first, man. I could have got just a cheaper cigar that I like better. So I don't like that cigar. So now I give them to the group.
That's what I was about to say. You just turn right around and give them back. There you go.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, you guys
Oh,
smoke cigars?
periodically.
Yeah, I'm a cigar guy now. I don't know. It's got me. I really like these. My buddy owns a company called Vita Nova. Um, and yeah, I really like his. I like my celebratory cigar now. If I ever have something to celebrate, I'm smoking the Padron Presidente. Oh, dude, great stick. If you never had it, gotta try it.
Add that to the list.
Add it.
The last
Serious.
time I tried to smoke a cigar, I inhaled, and well, you could imagine how bad that went for me.
Yeah, you probably grew up. Ugh.
Not
Oh, I
good.
did. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you do.
Ah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
What's
nasty.
the secret for cigar smoking for people
Used to
that?
smoking weed, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And me too. I am too, honestly. Yeah. I'm a long time weed smoker. Cigars actually was I don't want to say the reason, but when I got into cigars, it was because I was trying to quit smoking weed. And I'm like, and I had like enough, I need to like smoke. Like I need something to smoke. But that didn't last long. Now I still smoke weed and I smoke cigars. It's not good.
You know, whatever works. You also advertise those gummies you take all the time. What are those?
Oh, those are amazing. Yeah, those are amazing. They're called Serenity gummies. They're just basically a microdose of THC. I think they're like 25 milligram CBD. So it's just basically something but there's other stuff too, like lion's mane, mushrooms. Like it's an assortment of natural ingredients that help you just turn off your brain at the end of the day. I like those, and I've been taking these other things too. These what the fuck are they called? Rise. They're by a company called Cured. They're just capsules, but they're mostly lion's mane mushroom, with a little bit of CBD. And they're like, dude, they're fucking amazing, honestly. So Grace used to call them natural Adderall. And I for real, I tried them in the beginning. When we first tried them, I didn't like them because I would take them in the morning. Well, now I know why I didn't like them. But anyway, so I didn't like them because I would take them in the morning, but in the morning, my brain is like on go. Like I'm a morning person. Like my brain is operating at its peak in the morning. So I took these things for like brain focus and whatever. And I didn't notice anything. So I was like, oh, I don't really, like these, right? So eventually when I circled back, I started taking them. Like I always reach like I crash sort of around like 1 or 2, especially if I'm in the shop all morning, like talking to customers. And so I tried taking them around that time when I would typically crash, and I felt fucking amazing. So now I love them, and I rave about them to everybody I know, even more than the Serenity gummies. I like the Rise caps. So they're amazing and they're caffeine free, but they just get the way I explain it to people is it just recharges your social battery. Like, I don't know, when I feel like I don't want to talk to anybody else for the rest of the day, it gets me back in the mood to like, all right, I'm gonna
Need
come.
some of these ASAP.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. The
Yeah.
social battery goes down. And I'm like,
Oh yeah,
see you
you're a
guys
trainer.
later. I'm good. Have
Yeah,
a good one.
yeah, as a trainer, you definitely need that. You definitely go through it.
Yeah.
It's good that you don't just keep reaching for the coffee either. That's got to be a little tempting, right? Or how much coffee do you
Uh,
drink a day?
no, I drink a good amount. I'm actually really good about coffee now. Like when I have been bad. I have been bad. I've been like a gram of caffeine a day. Um, which for anybody listening that doesn't know how much that is, it's measured in milligrams. So that's 1,000 milligrams, which is a several energy drinks, pots of coffee, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, um, but now I really only drink about like I would say like 3 cups of coffee a day, like which is I don't drink any energy drinks. I don't drink any, and sometimes I drink like 1 or 2 cups of coffee and then 1 cup of tea. So, but I'm good. In the afternoons, the only thing I take is most of the time is those rise caps, and I don't even need more coffee. Plus, I'm back on 75 hard, so I'm drinking water all fucking day. Peeing 47 times.
How many days in are you?
8, but I'm actually far in because I had started a while back. Grace failed, so then I quit, which was dumb. So then we got through like Thanksgiving and stuff. Then I started again, forgot to take my photo. So started again. So I've been doing it for a while, but I'm on day 8 right now.
Speaking of doing crazy shit, didn't you do like some crazy endurance running thing for
Oh
fucking
yeah, I
like
signed up
24
for
hours or some
yeah, I
shit?
signed up for an ultra marathon, a 24-hour race, and I won. It was crazy. Yeah. I just first ever ultra show up. I'm on 75 hard. I woke up. The race starts at 8 a.m. I woke up at 5 a.m. to get my first workout in at my hotel, and then went and started the race and fucking first ultra and won 123 miles in 24 hours.
How was that for an experience?
Bro, it was amazing. It was fucking amazing. It was so cool. Like people need to do shit like that. It was so cool. It was
I don't know about that.
How the
it
fuck did you win? Like what?
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I tell people I think it was all mental. My biggest takeaway was that the dialogue that you allow to take place in your head matters more than, and you even have to have one. It's not about what you allow. You have to proactively put thoughts in your own head. And the whole day, all I did was kept saying to myself, like, I didn't even listen to music. I didn't even like podcast, book, nothing. And I'm like, the whole day, I'm like, you're strong, you're steady, you're fresh, you're strong, you're steady. And then every time, like, because after like the first 10 miles or so, you start to see people like their gait changes a little bit, or like they're favoring a side or something. And every time I would see even the smallest tweak, I would be like, ooh, that's a kink in their armor. Like, I don't have any kinks in my armor. I'm like, and then I would say, you're strong, you're steady, you're fresh. And it was cool because I swear, like, and mind you, I'm on the animal-based diet. All I can eat is fucking meat, dairy, fruit, and raw honey. Like that's it. And so no grains, no. So I'm like trying to follow this diet, and all I was drinking all day was like water with honey and salt and lemon in it. And then I would eat bananas for potassium. That's how I'd get my sodium. Then I'd get bananas for potassium. And then I would, as a snack, have watermelon cubes with salt on them. But that's like basically all I was eating all day. But then, like 70 miles in, I'm saying, you're strong, you're steady, you're fresh. This woman at the concession stand asked me, oh, did you just start? You look fresh. And I'm like, oh, my girl, like it was just like confirmation for me. I am fucking fresh. And dude, yeah, and I think I mentally defeated the two people that were really like competitive with me. One of them is like, I didn't even realize, but he's like a guy that's known in the ultra and community. Um, but I think I fucked with him mentally because like 60 miles in, the third place was a girl. And she was like, oh, it's your first race, huh? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, oh, how you feeling? And I was like, I feel fucking amazing. But I knew she wasn't feeling amazing at that point. So yeah, it was crazy.
Just psychological warfare on these poor
It
people.
was. It was. I was listening to too much Chad Wright before I went. Yeah.
just destroying them. 60 miles in, and he's just destroying them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I was going hard, bro.
That's awesome. How did you feel at the end?
Oh, I felt great. I
Wow.
felt great. No, actually, you know what?
Yeah,
I
what
felt
were the next
I
days
felt
like?
yeah, I felt great about how it went. But physically, I've never felt that bad in my life. Yo, physically, I've never felt that bad in my life. I have a forerunner. So fortunately, my friend was out there because I drove myself out there. And fortunately, my friend was out there watching. He had ridden out with some other friends. And so he was free to drive my car back because there was no way I was going home. And so on my forerunner, I put all the seats both rows of seats down, and so it's flat in the back. And I just laid down in the back of the Forerunner, and man, I felt so bad. I felt so bad. I slept on and off the whole ride back. It was 4.5 hour drive. But like physically, I was fucked up. Yeah. The next day I was fine though. Next day I was fine. I think I ran the next day. Yeah, I went for a jog. Yeah.
Just a freak. So anyone who's like good at something, just imagine there's some dude out there who will come off the couch and whoop your ass because he's got a better mindset than you. Just keep that in mind.
No, mindset is really everything. It really is. But honestly, I've been training, the way that I train, and this is why I'm a proponent of functional style training, is that I train not I try to push aesthetics entirely to the side and train for optimal health and function. Like and another thing that I like how I articulate my training philosophy is I want to be physically prepared for literally anything that life could throw at me. Like I don't want to be in a situation where I'm physically unable to show up the way that the moment requires, right? And so when you do that and you do it genuinely, you can't leave any stone unturned. Like you gotta swim, you gotta run, you gotta be strong. So you gotta train for strength, you gotta train for endurance. You've got to hit every single angle. And I've had that training philosophy for probably like 8 years now. And I'm like real serious about it. Like I when I think of something that I'm not good at, I'm like, fuck it, okay, I'm getting into that. And it was because I used to train for aesthetics. Like I used to do like bodybuilding style training, and it led me down a dark hole of like self-image, body dysmorphia, like even bad relationship with food. So like in order to like sort of get myself in a better headspace, I had to just focus 100% on like the practicality of fitness. And so now I think like I'm just, because I've been doing that for 8 years, I really don't have many holes in my bucket from a physical standpoint, anymore. It's really cool, honestly. That's the prize.
Yeah. I would say there's very limited holes if you can go run 100 miles off the couch. That's impressive.
Oh yeah.
So what's next for Omen Coffee? Like what's your next steps? Like what do you got in the works? You probably don't want to share everything obviously, but what's kind of the next step in your career or your life or in general? What's going on over there?
Well, we are yeah, we're gonna Omen's really gonna be sort of provide the experience that it's currently providing right now for like another couple years. I think we like ultimately I'm gonna build a coffee shop that's like my ideal coffee shop. And like I'm already working on this honestly, but the idea eventually will be like sort of this just HQ that has several different components that like, okay, the current coffee shop that I'm working on is it's massive and it has everything I need. It'll have it'll have a whole a sort of elevated experience in the coffee shop, if you will. What's up, brother? Yeah, give me a couple minutes and then it'll have an elevated experience in the coffee shop itself, but then above it we'll have an event space, because currently we have the men's group, we have the women's group, we host Omen socials, these events for like just members of our community. They're basically like a play on like a neighborhood barbecue, right? But for grownups. And so we do those. And so I'm gonna have a big event space where I can continue to host the men's groups, the women's groups, and then also little markets and stuff. Like sometimes we like to help other local St. Louis businesses, and we'll let them like set up and sort of like cherry pick from our customer base. So we'll have an event space, but in the front we'll have like an invite only, sort of like a members only lounge where think cigar lounge, right? Where you have to be a member at some of these high-end spots in order to go in and have guests and stuff. But I want it in the day to be more of like a meeting place, conference, working space, because we're in our men's group in particular, we're starting to have, like, we're attracting a certain fly, if you will. And these guys are fucking savages. I'm not the savage. I got young guns in my men's group, and like a lot of them that are just killing it. And I'm like thinking to myself, okay, all these guys are influential in their own social circles because they're doers, they're leaders, right? So it's to my benefit to keep people like that around. So I'm like actually going to build a whole space just for people like that are just crushing it, and they embody what, sort of the lifestyle that I try to encourage people to live. They're a good representation of like our community. So I want to have a space just for them and cater to them so that they can have their meetings there. They can, whatever, if they're whining and dining a potential client or whatever, they have a space that's really nice and that they can call their own and that we can call our own. So I'm gonna do that, and then the building attached to it, I might be revisiting my past because I'm gonna build a fitness studio. It's attached to it. So not only will like, we'll revisit some things that we did. So it's gonna be fucking sick because I'm trying to build this community that lives a certain life, and if we can, really lead people to water and help them get started and all this stuff, I think that I'm building the perfect space to do that, to house it. And because the buildings are attached, and there's actually a third building that's attached as well that I have plans for, but that's further out. But it's a half of a block, but they're all attached, and I'm essentially trying to build like a beehive of like positive, healthy energy, and outside of that, I'm just going to focus 100% on my community, on the people that, that choose to give us a chance and that come by, and that anybody, the door's open to everybody. But what's happening outside of that fucking beehive, I don't got nothing to do with that, and I don't care. I'm just going to be focused. So we've got another close to 2 years, 20 something months here in this facility. So for the next 2 years, my project right now is like, sort of building Omen's home, if you will. Yeah, it's gonna be sick. It's gonna be so sick.
I'm
By
moving.
I was gonna say, dude, sign me up for this cult.
I'm moving.
Fuck,
Yeah, I'm
fuck
moving.
what all these people are saying. St. Louis it is, I guess.
It's gonna be so sick, dude. Our community is gonna be so fun. I mean, dude, it's gonna be fucking amazing. And our community is already so cool. Like, it's so cool. So it's cool though, because it's cool that there's time that needs to pass and that it takes time to do those things, because it's going to take time for some of the seeds that we've already planted to grow, right? Like this health and fitness being a part of our culture is a seed that we've just planted. And like, yeah, we have the run group, we have a yoga group, we
If you ever want a powerlifting team, bro, let me know.
no,
Just like,
but we have these elements that show that we support a healthy lifestyle, right? But that needs to blossom so that the gym makes sense when by the time we introduce it. So yeah, it's just there's a lot of things, a lot of moving parts. And it's cool because for the first time in my life, I'm sort of, like I think of everything as like playing chess, right? And so I'm making moves and decisions and investing in things that literally nobody's even going to see for 2 years, like and then you got these, the men's group, the women's group, and you have to anticipate 2 years from now, what are they going to look like? And then make decisions in your business that you're hoping that you understand how this thing is going to grow or not grow, and that you're planning accordingly, because, you could end up with, investing a bunch of money in something that'll house that thing. So like the gym, for example, like I got to make sure that our community embraces health and fitness over the next 2 years, because otherwise the gym doesn't make sense. And the whole concept is to be able to, when you're in a business, I love thinking about business in this way. Like, this is why I'm so big on community, because once you build a community, you can almost sell those people an infinite number of things. Like, and the way that I think about business, because I'm ethical, is that everything that I do, I want it to contribute to people's lives in a positive way. I think I said that the first thing I said when I fucking got on here, right? So that's everything I want to do, is contribute to people. So if I can just think of other ways to contribute to their life in a positive way, the business is going to keep growing, but also like our potential impact is going to grow, and the quality of those people's lives is going to continue to improve. So that's where I get a gym from, right? It's like, man, so I want to be able to build this community, get them to embrace health and fitness, and then sell them memberships to the gym that's right there and grow the business, but also, be a part in that positive lifestyle change for them. Does that make sense? So it's first time I'm playing a game at this level that it's really fun. It's really fun. Kind of scary. But
What part of St. Louis exactly are you guys in?
I'm in Midtown. That's another part.
Midtown. Yeah.
That's another moving piece. It's like Midtown just started to get better. People just started to invest in it because the soccer stadium is here. And like that's a gamble. That's a roll of the fucking dice. I'm in Midtown. Who's to say that 3 years from now, anybody's going to even want to come to Midtown, because it's like on the fence like that, So yeah, it's just, it's an interesting game. It's an interesting game.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
How fast has that area grown? I mean, like what you said with the soccer stadium, things like that. Are there a lot of people moving into that area too? A lot of investors coming in?
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so much money being dumped into Midtown right 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good to see. Yeah, I like that. I mean, I'm not a Cardinals fan by any means, but all the Cardinals fans can't be too bad for that area either.
Yeah, no, they're definitely not. Definitely.
Oh man. Alex, you got anything?
I don't think so at the moment. I'm just sitting here listening to Mark. This is great.
Yeah, just give him a mic and let him go.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's awesome, dude. What you guys are doing. I'm like sitting here trying to think of that community in my head. I'm like envisioning it and I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a place I want to live.
Yeah. You told me on St. Louis and I don't have anything to do with Missouri. So
Telling you, it's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be good. But dude, I appreciate you guys having me on. I really do. It's always good.
yeah, thanks for coming on, man. That was cool.
Hell yeah. Where can I find this? Or do you guys publish these right away? Where can I find the show?
Yeah,
it'll be on. Go ahead, Nathan.
Oh yeah, it'll be up to date. I'll have a link on Spotify, and then we'll send you a tag. We'll tag you in the Instagram, reel or the Instagram story. Also, if you want a copy of it, just send me a message, and I can send you the clip if you want to make any kind of thing out of it or any of that. We'll link we'll link your socials in the description. So if you want to plug yourself real quick or tell people where they can find you or where they need to find these people need to find you.
They just got to follow Omen Coffee Co. Follow Omen Coffee Co. on Instagram. I manage the Instagram account. So if you want, you can just shoot me a DM there. But yeah, that's really the only place I'm trying to spend my time on social media these days.
Yeah, we get that.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, Mark, thank you so much. Yeah. Awesome, dude. Thank you for your time. That was freaking fantastic.
Awesome, man. Thank you. Thanks for having me, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Sounds good,
Thanks,
dude.
Mark.